Hello little folks, welcome and welcome back. This is Pxy-STUDY. So today we are returning after a while not streaming anything, so this is just a small development here as we are going to make some changes in the deform rig. So I want to make those rigify add-on feature of the how to say, the bendy bones, right? Tweaker bones. Currently I never used that, but actually it's sort of relevant. So these bones, they would be located in the tweaker. Okay, so I have these tweaker bones here. We also want to show the mechanisms. So mechanism, skeleton, tweaker skeletons, yes, then also the deform skeleton. And so here it is. So basically what you can see is that I have a setup here, an older setup, that the tweaker bones, they are here, right? They are on the joints. So the idea for me now is to make wait, it's not following. Apparently this bone is badly placed. Helper, yes, it is parented to the helper float. Okay, so this is it's a helper setup, but I think this is not necessary. I think this bone should just be parented here. Yeah, this sounds more logical. Let's just see if same thing happens here. No, it was just a mistaken parenting relation, right? Okay, so let's not watch this. So this is just a helper system. There's a target here. And what it does is that this is not a bendy bone, but it just stretches and squashes from, you see what it's doing, right? And has, of course, some waves on this region. So this is when we want to have a third bone as the joint bone, but we don't want it to be part of the skeleton, because for my rig this is terrible. I don't like, because I would have to, this is a control skeleton, and so if I am to control this with auto IQ option, I have to add another bone and subtract another extra bone in the joint, and it's very creepy when you move that bone in F key or I key. It doesn't really help. So it's just cumbersome for the control skeleton rig of this rig. Otherwise it's okay. And then okay, let's say that I didn't use it for the control skeleton, but I used it for the mechanism skeleton, the deform, or then the deform bone or the mechanism bone, they will be, you see, there would be a third bone here. Maybe I wouldn't have to change these orientations, but the bone would start here, this bone will end here, and then you have to have a bone here, for example, and that will be questionable, right? Because you don't have the joint there where they meet, and so this doesn't match wouldn't match the control skeleton. So that's, I prefer to have these things, all this matching, right? For simplification, because it's easier to collapse everything on a single point in 3D space. And then, well, this is not so simple, but then we have this float third bone for the joint. So that's how it works. So we could do the other thing. I tried, but I didn't like the results. It sounded to me just cumbersome to change the length of these bones. Yeah, creepy. It's not very interesting. So I think this was more interesting. So it starts exactly, there's just parenting relation here, and then it targets. Yeah, I tried to target with another feature, the head tail on the mechanism bone, but it doesn't work, so I just use the target, like it, similar to an IK bone constraint target. Okay, so, and this is just a visualization of the bone, so it's not anything about the, it's not anything about the envelope bone setup, right? Okay, so to do this, the setup that I've been using here with these tweaker bones, turns out that there is not too much things to do. There are just 1, 2, 3, and 4 joint limbs, right, or limb parts to limb bones to take care of. And so what we're gonna do is that I was revising systems that use that thing, probably on tutorials. There's not a lot of content about that, but it's very straightforward, basically. Maybe there is more to it. Because they are bendy bones, I'm not totally sure I would need the twister feature, because the cool thing about the bendy bone, it's because it already has got a self-twisting feature, right? You see, but now I'll have to split those bones. So right now, this works like automatic, and then it starts to twist on the end, around the end handle, and this is the target. No, for other reasons I've decided that the target would be the mechanism bone. So we'll have to change the waves, but these waves are usually simple, so it's annoying, but it's perfectly doable. I think I'm just gonna duplicate and then subtract, yeah, the vertex groups. So I'm gonna start by splitting here. Can't I get the bone in the middle? Okay, apparently I cannot, but because they are sharing the same place, maybe I can find this. It might match the center of the bone. Oh, now it works. Okay, so cursor to selected, whatever. So we'll need to split certainly the deformed bone, right? Welcome, someone is there. Neat. That noob next door. Yeah, welcome. So yeah, so here we are gonna separate this bone here, like subdivide. I will maintain this structure here of automatic. Not sure if we need to change this, but now I need another tweaker bone exactly to be here. So what we're gonna get, we're gonna get this tweak elbow. We're gonna place it there. We're gonna select mirror here. Let's Control F2, change this to bone, then find replace. Let's tweaker instead of elbow, upper arm, middle, yeah, maybe something like that, or mid, and strip characters. Okay, then we gonna reduce this thing here, maybe make this bone. We'll make sure the orientation follows the mechanism. Then we're gonna target this to this, and we're gonna, okay, so this bendy bone don't have the stretch to set up. This one has lost, so we're gonna have to, oh, they don't have actually, yeah. I'm just looking then for, okay, so this is correct. Tweaker per arm, no, I want actually this one. Ah, looks like there might be a problem. I don't have a mechanism bone here to target, so let's just use this for now. Upper arm. Okay, we can use this. If we need more mechanism, I'd like to have more mechanism, right? Because they hold the stretch to bone constraint. So let's see now what this does. Okay, as expected, the weight is all wrong, but one thing at least it's okay. They follow. So probably we're gonna split here too. Yeah, I think that will make sense. So subdivide the mechanism. This thing we parent to the control upper arm. This is correct. Both mechanisms, they keep parented to the quick shoulder. Okay, I see. And this one parents to here. Higher hierarchy. What is this thing? It is, oh, this is just a F key arc thing with, doesn't matter here. All right, so what you're gonna do is to, now you have the mechanism, this is the secondary. We're gonna look for its stretch to bone constraint. We're gonna copy it. We're gonna change this target here. Target the next one. I think this is okay. We're gonna reset this, and we're gonna reset this. Okay, this is good. Why this is not following correctly? Wrong parent, of course. And this one, they have swapped parents. There we go. Now you see this one is bending, while this one is not bending. There we go. So they start as automatic and then they end at absolute. I'm using the tweaker, but should it be the tweaker? This is arbitrary. I really don't. No, it's the mechanism shin. So I think it's just because I didn't have the right target. So this is not the stretch to target. The stretch I decide to place on the mechanism bone. All right. So apparently we got this. Now just the waves here. We are going to save here. Yeah, we're gonna remove this clothing here. We're gonna change the color here to something easier. Okay, so this here, this part is gonna be the mesh. I need to find on wave paint mode this one. Okay, so we're gonna copy, duplicate, and instead of this we're gonna just name like this. So we have this one and this one, so they are the same, but we're gonna make some changes here. I'm gonna use a technique here, which is the restrict, shortcut of 4 for me. Then we're gonna, this will prevent me to wave paint outside. So for this one, I'm gonna take off, it's like a pseudo mask, right? Is this good enough? I don't have too much mesh, right? So let's try this. Let's see how much this is. Yeah, this is like half. So that means that they will auto-compensate themselves. Now we go back to this, and now we do the same thing. We're gonna try to subtract from the other side. I see the joint is here, so we're gonna, yeah, let's just finish this first. And now I'm gonna smooth this out. So now we can test. All right, doesn't seem to be working very well in terms of deforms. I probably this duplicate has a lot of problems. Copy location of the pin elbow. Now this is a driver. Okay, looks like that I have to change the, wait, something very bad is happening. Something very incoherent. Maybe you need the, for this kind of bending, we'll have to sustain this thing here. Yeah, it should help, but doesn't seem to be helping that much. Handle shoulder, and maybe as for here, we might considering changing this here. Yeah, still this is very creepy. Something seems very disrupted. Looks like I'm missing some structure here. I don't know what could be causing all this right now. Maybe there are some stupid mistake in some, let's see. Yeah, I didn't change this, so maybe preserve volume. No, also not. Well, there's also, yeah, something is horrible about the deforms here that I'm not aware of. Could this thing be causing all this suddenly? Okay, I need to save a copy. No, we're gonna make an extra save here. I'm gonna load the, turns out Yeah, turns out that I was already destroying the setup. Okay, but I still got this one, right? So it's not that bad. It's really, this thing is... Oh, I see. This bone seems to be carrying stuff. Oh, yes, I see what's going on. There are some targetings that are being pushed by this bone. Yeah. Okay, so basically we just need to... I see the parents, wrong parents here. All these target bones, they went to the wrong target when I created them, so we need to change this here. It's not certain that everything is correct, but in principle that should have solved several problems. Okay, this one is correct. Yeah, so it's very dangerous doing this. Yeah, because the subdivision can mess up the settings. Okay, but if you are aware of that, that should be not so complicated. Yeah, but the problem is that there's no easy way to... This displacement is on purpose. Yeah, the waves here, we could do something better, but maybe I'll have to make extra subdivisions here, right? Because otherwise, how would I sustain this kind of limb feature? I don't like this because this is a low poly model. But if I don't do this, this whole thing lose a lot of impact. It's too sharp, right? It's barely usable, right? So I think we'll have to maybe change a little the character design, or just add one face loop this in here. Yeah, this is much better, but still bad for this side. So I think I don't have too much choices here, because the bendy bone, it can't work with a small amount of subdivisions, right? This is kind of heavy, but yeah, it comes at a heavy cost. I wasn't expecting for this. Okay, now it's much better. But let's say that this is more regular stuff now, right? So we have some tweaking now. Now let's go for the duplication of these setups, right? I hope this will be sufficient. There's a thing here that I need to fix. It's not the topic here. Let's see, control chest. So probably I needed to change the hierarchy of this stuff. Yeah, the problem still happens. Something about the transforms, how they stack together. I've made this thing to work, yeah, so it's probably an I key stretch thing also. Oh, I see. Apparently there's no I key stretch here. No, this doesn't solve anything, so it gets reversed, right? It's the orientation that let's see better what happens. Why it is going in the wrong direction, right? Why it is I see, it's because of how this bone moves, right? It's like this bone does this, right? This one needs a Nike stretch then. Yeah, like doesn't solve everything, but still have to investigate. Oh yeah, maybe it's just the waves. No, this is even worse. Could be because of the generic behavior, let's see. If this bone didn't act, that thing will still occur. Okay, so it's the tilting, right? It's like a volume loss thing, possibly. Let's see if that is correct. No, that doesn't seem to affect. So it's not exactly a volume loss artifact. So it's not the automation of this, although this could help. Yeah, probably what we need is just to have this move a little more, right? But it doesn't follow up. Oh yeah, okay, so it needs like a lot, not that little. So that's what one of the reasons. So it was lagging behind too much. Then we can also use Ike stretch on either maybe more Ike stretch here. And here we could use like the minimum. And here we could reduce this. Isn't this causing scaling artifacts? Also, let's change this ugly. These octahedrons are not good for. Yeah, they have orientation, but they are not good for all of the aspects. What happened to these clavicles? They seem completely incoherent. No, it's possibly this position which is very wrong. How did it end up here? Shit happens. Yeah, I'd like to integrate them, but this is another thing. Okay, so we got this settings fixed. Let's resymmetrize these ones, and now it's returned to build the system on this part. And yeah, we're gonna have to disrupt everything again. Yeah, maybe we duplicate will be less destructive. Yeah, yeah, shame. Yeah, let's do the brutal way. So let's see what happens here. First, this one we need that tweaker now. So this is just find this one. Now, why do you have the stretch to? This doesn't need stretch to. Okay, got that one. Parent to the mechanism forearm. No, actually parent to the tweaker. And this tweaker to the control forearm, control upper arm. That's correct, yeah. And so here, this now it's simple. We parent this here. And we parent here, right? Now we need to adapt here. Handle wrist, nope. Why it is not working? Maybe it's working, but strange, I don't see the... Yeah, it is working, but it's very subtle curvature. Now this remains the same. And now we have to handle the same settings about the wave paint. So the first one yeah, it doesn't look like I have roll weights here. Yeah. Okay, so this seems okay for the first. And then here. Bendy bones, they shouldn't extrapolate too much. Okay, so it's like maybe I have some trouble with the rest of the rig, right? It should be smoother than that, yes. Yeah, something terrible is happening. This bone is following the... Yeah, it should be on the... forearm here. And this is a helper bone. I also lost the parent. What about this one? No, this one has kept the correct one. What about here? This seems to be correct. Okay. Yeah, so you see much smoother now. What about this one? This seems to be correct. So here is really the problem of the waves, right? Where maybe this one will be simpler. Where we could just add this simple more or less in the middle here, and that should I believe the waves here will be more or less be distributed in, it does look like, let's look at the waves. Oh yeah, we see. So it's simple, we just need to improve the waves in this region here. Okay, and then for the other, here, yeah, too strong waves, ridiculous. It's just do this, and now yeah, still looks like it's broken. Maybe we'll need another subdivision, but you know, this is, I'm a bit new to this bendy bone thing, so the bendy bone thing, this tweaker setup, right? So I'm not sure if making all these subdivisions will be the best way to go. So that's why I'm gonna try later to find out what works better to smooth out these curvatures. It's not terrible, but it could be much better, right? The important is that these bones, they don't interfere, these tweaker systems, right? They don't interfere with the rest of the posing, as we can see here. They don't cause any trouble, and if we need them to make some adjustments, so some tweaking, then this can, it's very important for wobbling. More like, I'd say in 3D animation, which I'm sort of new to 3D animation, but yeah, it's like if you want real cool motion, like cartoony, even if it's realistic animation, you can play with those wobbling things. They can be important. So it's like I won't say anything like the ultimate thing, because you don't need that for animation. This is fantasy. Yeah, it's just a trick that is conventional usually, right? It's very cool, but you don't have to have it seriously, right? I don't know in the industry, like, but you don't, technically it's not necessary. It's an aesthetic approach, and even there's aesthetics standards in the cultural industries. So it doesn't mean that animation needs, 3D animation needs those things. So I don't think they need, but they can, if we can have them, they give a ton of more work for the animator for sure, but they can be funny. And also it's doable, right? So here, if we are smart enough, we during animation there's not so much to be done about them, so it's just small tweaks here and there on occasions. I don't have the experience in 3D animation to know, but of course if you want a lot of this wobbling things, trash and squash on the limbs, then that could be talk about squashing. Yeah, we can squash and stretch. Okay, so that's why we, okay, here I had, it's just these ones, right? Yeah, so considering that you can explore this to the very end, it's kind of, that can get a bit seriously. It basically, it's just more about resetting keyframes. Then you pause again, then you reset. It's a lot of reset stuff to the rest position of these bones, right? But then it's still, yeah, it's a lot of works regarding the keyframing. It can go wild. Okay, so a secondary stage to implement a cool motion of some kind. Okay, so now we just need to implement this finally to the legs. And we're gonna make this one faster because I got the trick. So we're gonna break everything because it's easier. So we're gonna, I have a backup anyway, so subdivide all that. Let's make sure that these are the 0 1s. Yes. Also, maybe I didn't symmetrize. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this one, right? And align it to here, then we find its location here. Gonna swap this to forgot to parent, keep offset. Okay, now we're gonna do logical steps here. Tweak hips, this is correct, while here, okay, this is the right parent. Same as these ones. Now as for these ones, Now I need to change the targets here. First, let's change the targets. I can use foot. I'll just entirely copy this. Reset here. This one we're gonna change to this target, I guess. Is this correct? Target to the tweaker, yeah, exactly. No, this seems to be... Okay, actually, we can do this, yeah. But yeah, like why not targeting the tweaker? Like everyone, we have the tweakers. Okay, so here there is a special reason for this one, so I leave like that. Yeah, it's parent and target the, yeah, tweak hip and target. Yeah, no, oh, that's good. So keep it organized in this hierarchy level thing. So parent this one to the live mid, and then stretch to the knee. This will change the target here and the stretch level. And here, yeah, it's making his foot. We keep like this, and that seems correct. Now I need to solve the... what's that? Clearly something is incorrect here. Where is this map foot? Oh, something here. Stretch to make his shin, of course, is not here. It's this one. And reset here. All right, let's fix this one. Saving skeleton, deform skeleton, tweak and main controllers. All right, let's see. Okay, so probably got some stuff that broke that will have to be fixing. Let's see. This time this seems to be working fine. See that all of the setups this time this seems to have been secured. Okay, good stuff. So I think no problem here, no misery. So I need to adjust the wave paint and then symmetrize. So we're gonna duplicate, change to 001, and then we want also this one to duplicate and change to 001. Okay, we can start with this one. So for the sheen 001, we want to take off. Okay, so it will be the problem of the, we have to make this it's good that the joint be yeah, close to the position. So we're gonna also do another one here. Small change to the character design here won't be a big problem. I'm not changing the limbs proportions, right? So it's not that radical here. Okay, so we got this. We gonna go back to the wave paint mode, looking for this limb now. We want the bendy bones. Yeah, the bendy bones also need fixing. Right, then we smooth out this. Now we pick this and do the same. And smooth out here. Okay, this one seems to be working fine. Then as for here, so I'm not sure about the twisting features now. This is something that I'll have to check. If the, because now I have two bendy bones, I'm not exactly sure how they will manage themselves. Okay, but I think this will be sufficient here. Okay, something, yeah, we need to symmetrize, of course. But first, We need to fix these things. They are already auto-symmetrized, right? We're gonna get them correct anyways from here just to make sure. Bendy bones, so we're gonna get automatic. No, let's just do some we could change this, but I'm not sure this is. Yeah, there is little affected. Not sure if this is a great idea. Anyways, we're gonna this matters. Yeah, we'll maintain the structure here, right? Yeah, it's circled by 001s, right? From the thigh, this one, and from the shin, this one. That's right. Then we get, it's funny, but then we get finally here. And this one we keep as it is. And there we go. Now I pick all this and we symmetrize. Now let's look what we've got. What's going on there? What bone is causing this disaster? It's probably some twisting. Yeah, probably is this thing. Yeah, the deformation here is also a bit strange. Or just how the shape. No, there's something else. Yeah, maybe it's the helper bones. We need some fixing. Maybe it's this thing. No, it's not affecting that. Looks like some rogue waves somewhere. Yeah, this shouldn't be here. No, that's not enough to cause this. Oh, I forgot to wave paint properly, isn't it? Totally, that is it. I forgot one fixing here. So nothing serious, just unfinished. Setup. Yeah, it didn't solve entirely the problem, but it's... No, actually it doesn't seem to be helping that much. So apparently there's... Oh yeah, look at the positioning of this bomb. It's very incorrect. Or maybe no. No, it seems to be correct. Yeah, I need to look for the... Looks like... Oh yeah, I've made a subdivision here, but it's not working very well. It's like the leg broke when I made this. I don't want to make another subdivision. Shouldn't be a question of subdivision. It's probably just some very stupid... Maybe some bones which got... Yeah, it's possibly there are some helper bones which are completely going nuts here. What is this? Now this is fine. Although it doesn't look so fine. Okay, this is normal, right? The systems there seems okay. Yeah, so let's also see what happens when we use the bone. This can give some hint. Ah, I see some bones here, which seem to be... Hey, aha. Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is following the wrong mechanism, right? So it got split in the... This one seems correct. Mechanism shin. Okay, this seems correct. I'm looking at everything simultaneously because this is the correct thigh bone. Okay, where's the weak hip? It's here. Okay, no problem with this. Weak hip. Infant is a bendy bone. Mechanism upper arm. Oh, there is something here indeed. This bone, this could be a problem. The orientation of this bone, yeah, that's not a big deal. So okay, I still don't know exactly what could be. Yeah, so it's just some thing that about the forms that it's really something that I don't need to check right now. Yeah, did my best, but it's some wreak havoc of the. This probably can easily solve when I adjust the forms there, and then I can find out what's causing this dementia. Could be that it was already there, but since I didn't have the subdivision, then as soon as I put the subdivision, then the problem started to pop out more in a more relevant way. So it's a larger limb, so maybe it does deserve a another subdivision, right? especially because it's a bendy limb now, so let's try to get this slightly more regular. Yuck. Now we got even worse. So maybe it's because of the... Oh yes, maybe it's the helper bones, right? We add these subdivisions. Maybe that is not very good. Say rogue waves here. Something. Yeah, I'll have to revise all this for sure. The position of this bone also. Yeah, I don't want to move it all together. Yeah, not right now. This is for later. I want to follow the pattern that I had, so that's why I'm not trying to expand this. But yeah, definitely it's not working very well. Yeah, it's possibly the leverage system after all. Let's just check this. I think I already checked, like, yeah, like if I just do this, there's a better way to check this. If I pick all these bones and turn them copy to selected, right? See, no problems there. So it's just the leverage system that got a bit broken here. Because of latest change. And so maybe I could do this. Hoping that this will not break my system, because it can. Well, maybe I need to. Not sure I need to do this, but maybe this helps. No, this won't help anything. So the automation should not rely on this bone directly, but on the interactions between everything here. So this is a leverage system with Ike bone constraints. So all of them, they are adaptive towards the inverse kinematic span. So this is an advanced method. It provides very interesting automations with the simplest structure. It's just a, and it doesn't require delta, turns out. So it's a bit like what I have in the shoulders here. It's the same thing, same principle, except that there I reunited everything. So it's also a leverage system here. Plus we have the possibility to use like, I don't have a good target here, but let's see, this is a bit crazy. Let's see, let's see what we can do here. Of course, this will not, this will cause some recovery because it's symmetric, right? We don't want the rotation of the foot, of course, to affect, but we can also change the target bone, right, of the Ike bone constraint. So of course it's not the good target here. Yeah, I didn't have anything because, but it could help in, but you need to be careful not to create a dependency cycle in here, right? So it needs to be a bone that is not inside this structure. I was not using this because yeah, this bone is not being posed, right? So it's not, but if we pose it, start to have this kind of effect, right? So it's a bone that is to be a bone that would have anything to do with the, if this is a transformation bone constraint, then that's is crappy because then it requires delta, and I don't want that. So it needs to be a spatial bone, and I don't have anything that can do this here very well. But all this is why it's probably not good here. I didn't even have the target because, yeah, because in principle, of course we could pause manually to fix, but this is really not intended. We want, it's doable, right? Perfectly doable if we want, but then have to interpolate. It's not very nice, right? We want this automated, so I don't move this bone. Essentially, we can solve everything through how these bones interact. They don't need pole target, they just need some chain length. And it's important sometimes if we have a bone that, so they use I-key stretch. Okay, but for me, for this session, this was what I wanted to achieve, right? Which were the implementation of this, all these tweaker bones. It's not yet implemented for the clothing. It's still a bit creepy. Yeah, so we can improve this with better wave paint and just maybe a different, slightly different logic regarding the subdivisions, right? But yeah, for subtle bendiness, stretch and squash, yeah, we need to be careful about this. Some uses of this. There we go. So you can, like, the idea is, of course, you have to, the characters in action does a kick, then you can pose this leg maybe like that, and for a certain amount of frames, and then you have some just like the, then you can, yeah, like the whip effect and stuff like that. Concepts of animation. And here, yeah, I need to fix that. And so you get all this craziness going on. But if we don't need to be posing these tweakers all the time, it depends on really the effect that we want. So I think it's a good addition. This rig was missing. It's kind of default. So now what you can say is that it's like we have got this one. Yes, so we got this. What I can add here is just add a latest, is like improve wave paint. Or tweaker. Yeah, essentially latest, that means this is like the latest things that I should face, like procrastinating the, like, okay, it works, I don't care if it's not perfect, it works. So just some, so one thing that I've added also Rigify related, I'm still not sure how I'm gonna make the switching of that, but Now there are some bones, deformed bones, which also carries that can affect the eyelids, as you can see, but there is a way to toggle that off, I think, or I don't remember how this is. Oh yeah, there was a driver, I think. Yeah, I added this to a stupid driver because I don't have any idea here. So if you turn this on, off, then I don't have a bone to automate this through scaling here, and so yeah, it's too annoying. So I couldn't use these ones because it already has the scaling factors, so I don't want to be using them for this. Same here, right? Also, there are some pupils effects that's worth doing some controls here regarding the scaling. Not the shape, I think. Some shading effect that I want for the... But yeah, we can go back there for now and reset this. So by default, yeah, the problem is that if we budge the bones of the eyes, then this thing will already validate, like it will be... But here it is working. And yeah, it's a subtle effect with very low waves. I had to carefully wave paint that. It was annoying. Really, it's just to tell that, okay, we have this possibility in the rig. But it's still a bit strange. I'm not sure if it is interacting wrongly with my... I think it's just because of in the render, it should be fine. Yeah. There's probably better ways to do this, but I'll need more time to investigate, and so this was some addition. So finally, to conclude the session, if I keep bringing this on for next day, because now I'm like in the final rounds of fixing, because I'm getting very good results finally in certain aspects of some skeletal control rig solutions, right? And also the deform rig solution. Essentially, there's some details, fixing simplifying and making the helper rigs a little better. This is just technical revision, same as here. This latest I would do really as bonuses. They are not to be focused. Then we have some face stuff that I finally solved one problem. I wasn't remembering what was the problem. The solution, actually. It's something about using the back face of the... Yeah, this is important for this rig because we have back faces here. And I don't want them to be invisible, so I had to use... So I'm not using the back face sculling generic for materials on all the scenes for EV. It will make things invisible, like this, for example. Yeah, we don't want that. But then we can use the back face on EV with the shader, with the technique which allows for us to, I'm looking for the melt interior, but you'll be able to see from here. So this back face there, if you have a geometry in the skin shader, right, in the material, the geometry input node here, back facing to have as effect, so it's as a mask. So whichever back face appear, either they appear as the skin, which will be here, right? Either it appears as some sort of diffuse, so that means that I could pick any color here. Even transparent here, but then and you can do this per material, or even you can mask parts of the, right, you can use mask this as a, yeah, you can use a mask for the texture here, maybe. Yeah, there's already a mask factor here. Yeah, I think you can stack, so you can decide in the same skin shader multiple if you don't want to, if you want to have all in the same material, right? Anyways, so this was very important for the melt interior, because the melt interior also has this kind of said it's very dark inside the melt, but it's not because of melt bag, it's just because of the back face cooling, that which I've made it to be very dark. Oh, there's a bad thing there, but no one will see, right? Then it's just something to fix there, right? So then there are some improvements, of course, eternal improvements in the facial rig, but at this point I'm getting start to get good results for the melt expressions, but I need some tweaks, right? Reprocess certain things. I'm happy with the new setup that I've made for the arcades. That should make a tutorial. Yeah, soon will be time for some crazy tutorials, I guess, but short tutorials if I can. So here we got, then yeah, there's also the, so I was reorganizing the control rig here of the eyes, also the deforms, solved the yeah, unsubdivided the eyelashes again, so a lot of back and forth. So now I have my older setup of the eyelashes in terms of subdivision, which is much easier to rig. They don't subdivide and shrink wrap wrongly. Yeah, it's much easier like that, and you see it's very smooth, so it's very cool. But I need to fix the automation of the eyelash. It's working already, but it's not good enough. It can be much better. And actually it's pretty nice as it is, right? This, some bones here, I want to make them a bit better. So all of this there, I want to make perhaps some not shape key, but pose assets for the closed, how the different ways to close the eyelids. The rest positions the eyes closed, so I need to get a reset rest position, rest pose asset, for example. Yeah, so recover that and get the automation work on that also. Right now I'm not sure. Also I was perfecting or finding I need to make some adjustments on the character design of the eyebrow, and there are some things that were messed up by design, right? So for example, here I haven't addressed this, but you see that this bulge, I shouldn't need to fix this bulge here, because the idea is that the eyebrow should be already there. So it's something about the 3D character adaptation. Maybe I need to carve this differently. Yeah, less skin here under, right? And the eyebrow push it down a little more, or at least carve this more. It's something so that the eyebrows will adapt better with this, so I get more easily better spontaneous expressions. Maybe I'll have to sacrifice the original character design of 2D, because maybe it's not very feasible. Let's make sure that I have this yeah, so it's this thing, like and or readjust yeah, so very important things is for character design, right? So this is like very substantial. I cannot finish the rig without this kind of improvement, right? Then there is, yeah, okay, the eternal face mouth rig. Yeah, so the mouth rig, it's working mostly. I think I can use it already, but there are some improvements here. So yeah, like no, great. Assess waypoint, lower deformed face. What is this? Do I need to do this? I'm not sure, so I'm gonna make sure this is achieved. The proxy. Assess wave paint, deform lower face muzzle bones. Yeah, so this is certain helper bones here that probably need some reassess. Shape keys, puff cheeks, it will be interesting. Usually this is the recommended thing for this kind of rig. So an automation, yeah, need some bone to activate that. Test facial expressions, right, with some reference, and then to the cartoon animation reference, and then we have some also here some reference that we can check if we can reproduce them. And pose assets, right? We want pose assets, face pose assets, right? Then this is managerial, or in the custom shapes. Costume rig, not custom rig, costume. So there are some clothing that requires some, that need to address some details. And UV texturing, yeah. I think I don't have the icons here. Maybe it'd be good to have automation control. So it's a shading and rig thing. Yeah, and then a lot of artistical adjustments of skin textures, getting this organized. So it's a lot of technical stuff. Fixing the pinning UV vertices, right? To stop. Some of them are already but I've been creating more mesh here, who knows. Need to make it clear that this is done for this character, which is a template character for all the others in the cast, and that also can help me with other character creation. So that's it, folks. The results are gaining momentum. I think now I'll be able soon to conclude this project, and then I want to share the skeleton, the control rig, the deform rig. I'd like to make it a rigify system, but I can't do that. Maybe if I transformed it into a this will be another idea. But anyways, I can share the rig with the rig model with another base mesh, right? A cartoon, but not of my characters, but something that resembles that can work. And then with the topology, yes, the topology you can define the deform helper rig, the control rig, all this stuff, and then see if anyone has feedbacks, and that's it. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy Blender. See ya another time. Hope you're having a nice weekend. See you soon.